digitally resurrect Jesus to have him walk on water?
When rap star Tupac Shakur, who died in 1996, came back from the dead and performed at the Coachella Music Festival, the world was in awe. The lifelike hologram of Tupac performed seamlessly with other live artists on stage. Some fans loved it. Others called it downright creepy. Alki David, CEO of Anaconda Media Group that owns Hologram USA, the company that resurrected Tupac, and many others, relishes controversy. Case in point, an upcoming project that will bring Whitney Houston back to life and on tour in 2016.
Without a doubt, it's generated a lot of interest and controversy, which we embrace. We know that we are going to put on a great show, and that's what it's down to. It's down to putting on great entertainment.
By the way, that's David's hologram I'm interviewing at Hologram USA Studios in Beverly Hills.
Hello, May.
Whoa! It is as if we are standing next to each other on the stage. I am physically on the stage, but this is a projection of you next to me.
I can be in multiple locations doing exactly what I'm doing.
Hologram USA can project just about anyone, anywhere, for any reason. Perfect example, Julian Assange, the WikiLeaks founder living in asylum at the Ecuadorian embassy in London. He appeared as a very vocal hologram at a conference in Nantucket last year.
I'm very off about the interference in my family relationships and so on, and the hypocrisy.
Holographic technology's potential is enormous in business, politics, and entertainment. But is it profitable? Hologram USA says yes for them and for performers.
When we bring Whitney back, or when we bring Billie Holiday back, there's a lot of interest from sponsors and advertisers, because essentially these artists are now alive and able to do product endorsements and personal appearances.
And when it comes to personal appearances, well, let's just say just about anyone can do it via hologram.
A minister out of Clearwater, Florida wanted us to digitally resurrect Jesus to have him walk on water. For an Easter sermon next year.
Now that really would be something to see to believe.
With the vehicle bearing down on him, Master Patrol Officer Matt Stacy fired his gun twice before impact. Officer Stacy was knocked to the ground, the vehicle traveling at an estimated 50 miles per hour.
They just ran Stacy.
Another vantage point from the officer who was chasing the suspect.
Show me your hands! Move! Put your hands up now! Put your hands on top of your head. Do not move.
41-year-old Stacy Ann Bunzy popped out of the vehicle's sunroof and said she was God. Bunzy told officers, "Welcome to hell," before she was tased in the chest.
Taser, taser, taser!
Officers had to go in through the roof to get her out of the vehicle.
Hands right now.
Shot or what? Are you shot?
She didn't get shot. No. Okay.
An unemployed Alaskan native, Bunzy is being held on nearly $80,000 bond. She's expected to be charged with 4 felonies and a misdemeanor, including assault and battery with a deadly weapon on a police officer. Police suspected she was under the influence of methamphetamine because she used street slang when she stated that she did some ice a couple of days ago. She then stated that she did a line of ice last night.
Stop! Stop!
That wasn't the sound of braking. That was the sound of an accelerator.
A 4-year veteran of the Sand Springs Police Department, Master Patrol Officer Matt Stacy suffered minor scrapes to his head, forearm, and right hand.
Our worry at the time was he was severely injured. He wasn't. I can just tell you my only explanation for that is he was under the protection of God, because he very well should have been dead.
Officials in Indianapolis say a pastor's pregnant wife died after being shot in the head at the couple's home. 28-year-old Amanda Blackburn was pronounced dead Wednesday after being shot during a robbery that happened in her home. She leaves behind her husband, Davey, and her 15-month-old son. The family moved to Indianapolis to start Resonate Church in 2012.
Our church is our family, and it's the same for them. The two of them, the church was their family.
Everything she did was to help other people, and that's what she was about.
Blackburn was 13 weeks pregnant and the child did not survive. Please remember to keep the Blackburn family in our prayers.
This video shows 3 Virginia police officers repeatedly using stun guns in 2013 on an unarmed black man who died shortly afterwards. The video caught on police cruiser and hospital surveillance cameras shows Linwood Lambert Jr., 46, being taken into custody by 3 South Boston police officers after he was arrested at a motel for a noise complaint.
Get on your stomach.
You can see from this footage that he's repeatedly shocked at the doors of a hospital when he tried to get away.
Roll around. Roll around. Roll around. No miss. No miss. No miss. On your stomach. On your stomach. On your stomach. Get on your stomach. Okay, that's I will. That's I will. Get on your stomach. Roll on your stomach. We're gonna go there.
He can then be seen slumping, almost unconscious, in the back of a police cruiser. The officers then took him to jail before returning him to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Lambert's family filed a $25 million wrongful death lawsuit in US District Court in April against the officers. The videos have emerged as the US is debating police tactics after the deaths of unarmed black men at the hands of officers in Missouri, New York, and elsewhere since 2014.
Iraqi Kurdish forces have found a mass grave in Sinjar following the liberation of the town from the ISIL terrorist group. The mass grave was believed to contain the bodies of 78 Azadi women aged between 40 and 80. The mayor of Sinjar and local people say they saw clumps of hair, bones, money, and keys, which they believe belonged to older women from the village of Kocho. Officials discovered the site of the mass grave on Saturday based on information from young women enslaved by the ISIL. Daesh terrorists occupied Sinjar in August 2014. They've systematically killed and enslaved hundreds of members of the Azadi minority.
Well, in health news, the obesity crisis is getting worse in America, not better. A new report from the Centers for Disease Control says the obesity rate among American adults rose to 38% from 32% about a decade earlier. Experts had thought the obesity rate had leveled off, and they don't know why it's rising instead. The new report also shows women have a higher level of obesity than men, driven higher rates among female blacks and Hispanics. But there was some good news. The obesity rate in kids from 2 to 19 did not change that much.
In Chicago today, there was a tragic revelation in the murder of a 9-year-old boy. Dean Reynolds is on that story.
All week, Chicago has been asking why 9-year-old Tyshawn Lee was murdered in this alley. And now the police have supplied a horrifying answer.
We believe that Tyshawn was targeted, lured to this spot, and murdered.
Gary McCarthy is Chicago's police superintendent.
Probably the most abhorrent, cowardly, unfathomable crime that I've witnessed in 35 years of policing.
Tyshawn was on his way to his grandmother's on Monday afternoon when he joined others in the alley near her house. That's when the boy was swept up into a bloody feud here involving 2 rival factions of the same gang. His execution was the latest in a series of vengeful assaults going back months. Police say Tyshawn's father, Pierre Stokes, is an active member of one of those gang factions, and they believe that's the reason his son was targeted. Stokes himself agrees his son was intentionally killed.
If he wasn't a target, he wouldn't have got hit so many times in the back and the face. You know what I'm saying? I think he was targeted.
But he is not helping the cops solve the killing of his own son.
Let me put it this way. We've tried to interview him at least twice. I can't even tell you what he said because you can't say it on TV, but he made it emphatically clear that he's not cooperating with us.
This is Ghunwa al-Mnajid. She looks like any other 22-year-old Syrian woman. She goes to Damascus University where she studies journalism. She has a part-time job as a freelancer with a local website. She lives with her sister, father and mother in this rented house in Old City of Damascus. But underneath this ordinary appearance lies a terrifying story.
When we were kidnapped, the trip to where they took us is unforgettable, and how we escaped through tunnels and ran. I remember every small detail about my house and every memory, but the most unforgettable moment was when I woke up to a militant knocking on our door, and also when we returned to the neighborhood and found our house half destroyed.
But Ghanwa wasn't alone in this ordeal. Her mother and sister were taken with her. Their father negotiated for months, having to sell all the little he has to save his family.
I lost everything I once owned, but I got my family back, and that is what matters. Today, when I see how they are treating hostages now, I'm confident that I made the right decision.
Abu Jihad is referring to a rebel video posted online. He watches it on his phone and could just imagine if his daughter and wife were still in that situation. The video shows dozens of hostages put in cages and used as human shields in the rebel stronghold of Douma city. The mother turns off the TV. She wants nothing to remind her daughters of what they have been through.
I know some of the women who appeared in the video, and it breaks my heart. I'm happy that my daughter and I are out, but I can't help but think that we could still be in, and we would be in these cages.
The girl continues studying in the hope of a better future, a future that many doubt could still happen for Syria.
Slender Man. You might know that name by way of several girls.
Yeah, they made headlines last year when they stabbed their friend 19 times, nearly killing her, all to appease Slender Man. He's a fictional online character that even their parents didn't know about. So, how do parents stay ahead of what their kids are finding online? Good Morning Indian anchor Beth Vaughn found a solution.
On Saturday, May 31st, 2014, a 12-year-old girl was stabbed.
It's a story that left many of us scratching our heads.
Why would you hurt your only friend? It was necessary.
Who is Slender Man, and why did he have so much power over these two young girls? But the better question might be, how do we avoid this from ever happening again?
As a parent, the first thing I would do if I were in that situation is look up Slender Man and find out what it was.
But by that point, John Michaels knows it would be too late.
How in the world do parents keep up in today's world?
TVs, cell phones, tablets, kids have access to new information 24/7.
Is that fast?
So Michaels, a father of two with one more on the way, wanted to give parents a way to get out in front of the information. CarefulParents.com launched earlier this year. It's a social media-like forum for parents to learn and share what they know too.
To give parents a resource so that if they're trying to educate themselves, they don't have to know what they're looking for.
Right now on CarefulParents.com, alerts on new apps, one that's been linked to sexual assaults of children, and another that can open up your phone's camera to hacking. Warnings about text slang, meant to keep parents away from the real meaning of text messages, and a heads up on gangs. And when parents hear of something new, they alert the rest of the group to what they know.
I think sharing with other parents is really important because there's so much information to manage these days, and having a peer system to fall back on and share information with is a really powerful tool.
The beginning of what Michaels hopes is a broad network of parents looking out for each other and better protecting children.